All right, everybody, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be introducing a bike that I bought. I actually have owned this for a few months now. It is a 1987 Yamaha Virago 700. How I came across this bike, I found it on Marketplace one day, just scrolling through. I wasn't necessarily in the market for a motorcycle, but I found this one on there for reasonably cheap. I won't say how much I got it for, but there was one thing that drew my interest. It only had 400 miles, which for being almost a 40-year-old bike, me and my buddy couldn't believe. So it was kind of one of those things that we wanted to drive over and talk to the fella and actually see if it was the correct mileage. And he didn't own the bike originally. He bought it from somebody else a while back, and allegedly the story has it he never rode it. But the bike indeed did only have 400 miles when I bought it. Now it has 1325 since I've been riding around the last few months. But nonetheless, it's still practically a brand new bike in that sense, if you think of it that way. The only things that I have done to it so far is I put a cheap set of bars on it, which I honestly don't really love. They're probably going to come off and get changed to something different here. Threw on a fork bag just to have some sort of storage because there pretty much is none on the bike. And then me and Jer, we cut the stock exhaust off and we just straight piped it. And you can tell I did it because the slash cuts are uneven, but it works, it rides, it sounds good. When I first bought the bike, I got it for pretty cheap because it was only running on one cylinder. And we kind of dug into it, tried to take a look and see what we could figure out. And we threw a new set of coils on it, spark plugs and wires. That pretty much solved the issue, but the back cylinder still wasn't firing as it should. So I pulled the carbs off and cleaned those out, kind of just sprayed them out with some brake clean and threw it all back together. And that's pretty much all I did to get it back to running condition. But I do not know how to properly tune these Hitachi carbs. They're like a vacuum plunger style carb. And if you know these Viragos, these second gen Viragos are an absolute nightmare. I don't know about the other ones, but as far as taking these carbs off with the intake manifolds and everything, it's an absolute nightmare if you have even just the average size hands. So I'm not really sure what the trick is for that. I think having the engine out of the bike probably would be the way to do it easier, I think, because we had a hell of a time getting it back in and out. But nonetheless, it does run and ride. It's not tuned all the way as it should be because it breaks up on low part throttle, and I don't know, it's not fully there. When you're really high on the ripums too, it breaks up, but for the most part it rides around pretty good. But I hadn't made a video on the bike, and to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm going to own this thing that much longer because I may end up either trading or selling it, or I may keep it, who knows. But I wanted to get a video on it before anything big happened with it. So the bike is extremely cold-blooded, and I think it has something to do with the carb tuning not being on point. So it doesn't start the best, but I'm going to see if I can get it started here. Yamaha hammer, everybody. Even Pops enjoys the Yamaha hammer in the background. That's gonna be the thumbnail of the video.